Hey there, it's Crystal Diaz here from the Online Vocal Academy, sharing with you my reaction to a live performance by South Korean singer-songwriter IU. And by the way, if you are interested in learning how you can instantly sound like a more polished singer simply by learning 3 easy techniques, then I invite you to check out my Instant Singer Workshop. You can find all the details by going to instantsinger.com or by clicking the link where you are watching this video. Enjoy!
누구를 위해 누군가 기도하고 있나 봐. 숨죽여 쓴 사랑 시간 낮게 들리는 듯해.
Okay. She just demonstrated something so beautifully. The way in which we inhale or bring the air into our bodies has a huge impact on the way in which we are using our voices. I mean, that may seem kind of obvious and simplistic, but it's actually very challenging to do, or it's not really instinctive, especially when we are struggling with airflow. So when we don't really know how to control our airflow, the tendency is to take in a lot of air. But when we gasp in a lot of air, then the natural reaction is to dump it all out on the first couple of notes. However, when you watch IU singing this little first section here, you can see that how she's breathing in and how she's singing out, there's a flow to it. And the speed at which she's breathing in is also very similar to the velocity or the speed at which she's singing energetically. She's getting into this rhythm or this cycle of breathing that is very, very pleasant to listen to because it puts us as a listener, it puts us at ease. The last thing you want as a singer is to put your audience in a state of anxiety. But if you're bringing anxiety to the way in which you are singing or breathing, your audience will feel that. But what IU does so beautifully here is that she's so relaxed and so sure of how she wants to execute this song that she's just breathing and singing. And it's so seamless, but it is actually a product of a lot of practice and a lot of self-awareness.
너에게로 생명이 날아가 늦지 않게.
So she's picking up the energy a little bit here.
자리에 닿기를. I'll be there 홀로 걷는 나의 뒤에 singing till the end 그치지 않은 우리 노래 아주 잠시만
So nice.
귀 기울여봐
Hear that openness?
이 긴 밤을 걷는 널 위해 부를게.
I don't know what she's saying, but it makes me want to cry. Okay, so I want to say 2 things about this section here that we just listened to. We have a tendency to not open up. I call this optimizing the vowels because when we're speaking, we get into a habit of just not opening our mouths, very much because we don't need to when we speak, or we just don't tend to need that space as much when we are speaking. But when we are singing, we need to optimize the space in our vocal tract. In the beginning, what I'll tell students is that open your mouth, drop your jaw, create that backspace. I talk about that a lot. But with IU, if we just watch the first verse of her singing, students of mine may watch that and say, but IU is not opening her mouth like crazy in that first verse. My response would be, well, she is opening her mouth, but she is opening enough. She's opening what she needs to create the sound quality that she wants. But then you look at the chorus, she needs a slightly higher level of energy. So dynamically, you can hear that this is a little bit louder. So because of that, she needs to accommodate for that sound. And you can see here how she's singing. That's when she's opening her mouth, and that's when she's increasing that spaciousness in her vocal tract. The second thing I want to talk about here is the quality of her tone. You can hear in the beginning of the first verse, there's a little bit more of that, I don't want to say breathier, but there is that textural air quality. You can hear that there's extraneous air coming out in her sound. So there's a bit more of that diffused quality in her voice. But here in the chorus, you can hear how that tone just solidifies. In order for her to do that, it must mean that she is connected. So what does that mean exactly? It means that in the beginning, she still had that mixed voice. She still was connected. She was still connected, but she allowed a little bit of that airier texture coming through. But when she's singing here, because she's so connected and her voice is balanced, she can lean in, optimize her vowels, and sing with more of that solid tone. This girl 100% knows what she's doing with her voice. She's clearly very familiar with how her voice feels and sounds and the quality of the sound that she wants to create in her songs. You can hear that right off the bat in the way that she's handling her voice. So very, very beautifully done so far. Let's keep listening. A bit more of that darker sounds coming in, which was really nice. So the backspace. That openness. Okay. So good. I'm getting goosebumps. So I love this because not once as you're listening to her does she look like she's struggling. And I think sometimes we forget that as artists. As singers, we get into the song or sometimes our mind, plays tricks on us and we get worried. We worry about the high notes. We kind of retreat in ourselves and we may scrunch up our faces or we might even back up, like our whole body backs up when we're singing those high notes or there's tension in our throat muscles. Why? It's because psychologically we're thinking, oh, the high note is coming. I got to brace myself. I got to really prepare and try for that high note. But when you're watching her, some of those notes are da-da. I think she went up to here. But every single high note that she executed, she created the space to allow that sound to come out. And the other thing I like about her high notes is that not only is it very spacious, so she creates that space when she needs to, but also she doesn't allow that sound to go backwards. So when I talk about backspace, some students think that, does that mean the sound goes backwards? This is all very subjective, like sound back or sound front. It really is depending on how you as a singer feels it. But just in terms of the sound quality, we're just thinking, where does that sound of her voice seem like it's coming from? It does feel like it's just coming out of her freely. I call that there's this ping, this sound. So there's a spaciousness to the way that she's singing, but at the same time, the sound never leaves that fronted plane. So then the microphone can pick up her voice at any part of her range. All right, let's keep listening. Like downward energy of the way she's singing. Fronted, beautiful. That was an E flat.
그곳에 있을게.
The whole time I was feeling like that energy, the power, there's this containment to it. Sometimes when we want to sing powerfully, we inadvertently, accidentally will add volume in an effort to sing powerfully. But here, not once, at least from me, when I'm listening to it, I don't think, ooh, she's loud. I don't think that at all. For me, I feel like, oh, that there's this powerhouse that she's just containing. You know, she's showing it to us. We see glimpses of that, but not once did I feel like that power was almost too big for her to contain. For me, power isn't about showing people what you can do with your voice. It's about making choices and choosing what to share. She clearly can belt. She clearly can go really, really loud and really, really strong. She's choosing not to. And I think that is, for me, what is power, is choosing what to contain and what to reveal. It's not about, let me reveal everything I got, right?